for whatever reason, maybe I was afraid, or because I don't like doing this by myself, anything.
Right.
But when I saw other Christians do it, like on YouTube, on Facebook,
okay.
I'm like, by themselves. I'm like, I need to be doing that now, not wait. And it gave me more boldness to do it, because I'm a very nervous, anxious person.
Okay.
I mean, it may not seem like I am at times, like right now, but I'm a very nervous person. I always have been. I struggle with anxiety, and like I said, I don't like doing things by myself. But when you see other people do things, it gives you boldness to do it.
Right.
Because it's like I see Christians doing that, and I'm like, they're bold. I want to be like that.
Yeah.
And I want to get out there and proclaim the gospel. I want to have these signs, especially when you know people are going to hate it.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know people are going to get in your face, as they have with me. But it's like, you love your neighbor so much, it's like, it's okay. Because it's being selfless. Because I mean, if I was selfish, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't want people to spew hate at me or get in my face. But most churches, you go to most abortion mills, there's no one out there, or very few people out there, less than 5.
So is abortion mill, what does that mean? Like
abortion clinics,
okay.
where parents take their children to be murdered.
Oh, okay.
And what I've seen in the last 10 years, because I've been to many abortion mills across the country, and almost without exception, there's almost no one out there at the abortion mill. Sometimes
to,
no.
Like, protest, you mean? Or like...
Well, to protest and to rescue children, to plead for their lives. I mean, to kind of put it into perspective, I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm just being honest. I went to Bob Jones University. It's a very strong Christian school in South Carolina. 7 miles from there is an abortion mill, the only one in that area. There were 2 or 3 times I went there was nobody out there but me. 7 miles from a Christian school, a strong Christian school.
That's pretty crazy, yeah.
Well, but I mean, I just use that
I'm
to...
one of those people that hasn't done anything, but I just didn't even realize, like, this is really something that people do as a way to...
What's that?
I didn't realize, like, this is, like, what you're doing is something, like,
that can be
do,
done,
I guess, or, like, I just always thought, like, what you said, you know, vote for, you know, politicians who are against it, or... You know, sometimes I do talk about it with people and tell them I object, like strongly object abortion and stuff, but I didn't know really what else like you could do. So it's.
No, I was actually just saying that over the microphone, telling people if you want to know what to do, come talk to me. And you may not have heard that, but there are a lot of things you can do. This is I've seen Christians do this like on YouTube, and I thought. You know, that's an excellent way. I mean, and I do a lot more than this. This is just one thing I do. But just kind of give you an idea, an example. Another thing I do is I hand out drop cards. Which, if you want to hand out drop cards, you can have that.
Okay.
Like basically, anywhere I go, I just leave those behind in grocery stores, the gas pump, and the credit card slot.
Did you go to Willow Creek? Because I heard at Willow Creek there were a bunch of someone left a bunch of. Maybe something like this on the cars, everyone in the parking lot or something, and it was more subtle than this though. maybe
someone else.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean but it's a way to engage the public. I mean, everywhere I go, I talk about it. I leave drop cards behind at places. I have it on my car. You know, I have like images on my car, and it just the problem with the pro-life movement. And with most Christians is they have no urgency that people are being murdered. Just like, to kind of put it into perspective, if a child were going to be murdered around, you know, in front of us, and we knew was going to be murdered tomorrow, and we knew when and where, how many of us would do something about that? You know, if a child were going to be murdered right here, we wouldn't just say, well, it's someone else's calling, I'm not going to do anything about it. It's one of many issues. Well, that's exactly what we do with our preborn neighbors who are being murdered. Jesus said to love your neighbor as yourself, the second greatest commandment, and we haven't done that with our preborn neighbors. It's out of sight, out of mind, and our preborn neighbors have been so dehumanized in our culture that even Christians don't believe that people are being murdered. And it's like, if they did, they wouldn't be acting the way they are. Because it's like, again, you go to the abortion mills, there's almost no one out there. I mean, we say the abortion's murder, but we don't really act like it. Because we don't act like the person's actually being murdered.
Right.
And unlike Nazi Germany, it's way more people have been murdered. And these people are totally defenseless. And Christians are acting the same. They're looking the other way. And it's like growing up, I didn't see these images. And even in the last few years, I didn't really see these images in front of schools or in the public arena. But Christians are doing this more and more nowadays. In fact, we do this once or twice a week, like over at outside Barnes & Noble and outside here.
Okay.
And I mean, you'd be welcome to join us because sometimes it's just one of us, sometimes two or three.
Is there anything in Schaumburg? That's where we're from. That's where we're here just for today.
If there isn't, then we could come there if you want to join us. Like, how far is Schaumburg from Wheaton?
Oh, it's like a 20 to 30, probably 30-minute drive, maybe in regular traffic.
I mean, I'd come out there, and I mean, stand at an intersection or public place. Would that help you to get out if someone would join you?
Probably.
I mean, for me, the answer is absolutely yes.
I can't imagine right away jumping by myself. I mean, I'm not really like a fearful though in general because I used to do sales. I'm not that scared really of being rejected because I used to do sales and I got rejected like 500 times a day. So
that helps with this because you get rejected a lot.
So I don't really care that much.
Well, that helps
I guess
a lot.
like just to kind of watch how someone else does it, kind of like when I was in sales, for example, like I always for the first half a year or something, which I'm not saying I would need half a year or anything, but like for training purposes, like watch someone else or have them come with me to kind of guide me or something. And so like I think that would kind of help if I were to be more active. And
I mean, I'd be very open. And Matthew, he's another. Are any of you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Check out his page, his YouTube channels, and he's on Facebook too. He's a lot more active than I am. Matthew Wiersema. I don't know if you
spell that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not the easiest thing to spell. Because I would check out, honestly, I would check out his page, his YouTube channel, and on Facebook because when I'm from Kansas, and watching him and others get out to the streets was what gave me the boldness to do it myself, by myself.
Okay.
Because I was a little scared maybe very scared to not go to the intersections. Because I did that by myself in Kansas. I didn't want to, but I did anyway. And I mean, this is probably more scary than that because you actually get people coming towards you.
Yeah.
You know, but like I was hesitant to do it. You know, like go to stand on the public sidewalk. You know, where people are coming out. But seeing him and others do this, I'm like, I can do that. And that's one reason why I came here to Illinois. Was to be around others that I knew that would give me boldness more than I had. And it's like tonight I wasn't that nervous about being out here by myself. And actually Matthew was going to be out here tonight but wasn't able to. But what I've noticed is when you're around others or see others doing things, that gives you boldness to go out even by yourself. And I mean it's not the wisest, but sometimes it's like, well, you know, it needs to be done, so I'm gonna do it. And I'm not a people person. And I mean, sometimes I consider myself a coward because I feel like I should be going further and doing these things more. But
very, very.
Well, that just comes. That comes from seeing others do it and the Lord changing me. And because honestly, I still think about growing up. I didn't do anything like this. I mean, I was extremely quiet and introverted. Still am introverted. But the Lord changes people. He's given me the grace to do this. And I mean, I'm still nervous about, you know, it's. I know people are going to hate it. Yeah. But the more you do it, and the more you see others do it, you lose that nervousness. That scared you'll do it by yourself. It's no big deal. And but I would encourage you to check out Abolish Human Abortion on YouTube, and you'll see abolitionists go out to the streets. Some of them by themselves. I mean, I know women who go out by themselves, and I feel sorry. Well, I feel for them because they shouldn't be out by themselves. You know, there should be men especially out there with them, but they do it because no one else is joining them. I tell others the reason I'm out here by myself is because no one's joining me, because Christians don't care. But I know there's a few Christians who they'll say like, what can I do? I'm like, I'll even tell them, park your car and come join me. You know, get out of your comfort zone like I am.